Please, 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 a moment of your time. This is Vargas, recording from the Vargas Vault with a very special wrestling review. Yes, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, so, this is your old pal, Vargas, and I'm thought about doing a wrestling DVD review. Because I don't think I've ever done one, at least not that I remember. And I'm sporting, of course, the people's voice, Dr. Wagner's mask. This is Dr. Wagner Jr.'s mask with the Mexican green, white, and red. The detail on this mask is freaking cool. Again, got this mask from Mexico City thanks to one of my uncles and my mom. And of course, I am sporting your WWE World Championship belt. I really like this belt, at least this toy replica. The logo is nice and big. It has a lot of bling bling, shiny. My favorite belt design of all time will always be the Winged Eagle, because that was the belt that everyone fought for when I was growing up. But this one's pretty cool. I like this one. This was unveiled by The Rock after he won the title from, I think he won the title from CM Punk, and retired the spinner design belt that John Cena introduced a number of years ago. So this design only lasted a year, but I like it. So after that bit of history, I wanted to talk about a DVD that I just finished watching, and it's one of those 3-disc sets that are really long. Has tons and tons and tons of hours. If you want more bang for your buck, definitely get those sets. You know, they're either anthologies or they're collections or something like that. And the one I wanted to talk about this time is the one that I just finished watching, and that's Satan's Prison, the anthology for the Elimination Chamber. Now, the Elimination Chamber was a gimmick match that was, well, it's accredited to Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff, of course, was in WCW, but then came to WWE and took over the role of general manager of Raw, while Stephanie McMahon became the general manager of SmackDown. So he did a lot of things. He did, I think, Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday were his ideas too. He also had the Vegas thing where he would spin a wheel and that would determine the matches. But I think his most longest lasting thing was the Elimination Chamber. Because you already had, way back in the day, you had steel cage matches, which was an iron bar structure that would surround the ring, and people had to escape it to win the match. Or you could win by pinfall or submission. Then the next evolution of that was Hell in a Cell, which, if memory serves me right, it was The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels that did the first Hell in a Cell. And, you know, they were thinking of something bigger to do than just Hell in a Cell, and the Elimination Chamber happened. And it's basically this Hell in a Cell is just like a big cage. This is like bigger than that. It's this ginormous structure that covers the whole ring. They have to actually not have the announce tables in the area because it's big. It's like huge, and it just lowers and encapsulates the ring, and it's all covered by. Whereas the Elimination Hell in a Cell, I'm sorry, has like just like a mesh. Elimination Chamber is covered by chains, so it already looks really imposing, and it has it's a very imposing structure. made out of metal, just really, really solid metal. And the gimmick of it is that in each corner you have these like pods, and 4 wrestlers get into the pods, and 2 wrestlers begin the match. After each 5 minutes, a new wrestler enters. Then you have 3 people wrestling, and if no one gets eliminated, because you can eliminate someone by pinfall or submission inside the ring, you have 6 people fighting if no one got eliminated. And as soon as someone gets counted out, 1, 2, 3, or they tap out through thanks to a submission, that person has to leave, and then only the remaining wrestlers, fight out. That thing has also had its own evolution. When it started, it has different variations and evolution, depending on the stipulation that they want to give on the Elimination Chamber. It could be that a champion is defending his title, and if he gets eliminated, whoever's left wins the title. It could be used as a shot, as a #1 contender shot. For example, I'm the champion, but I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling under the weather, what have you. So they want to determine my next opponent. They do an elimination chamber, and whoever wins can challenge me for my belt. So that's another thing that they do. So it combines it combines Hell in a Cell, where you can't escape. Well, you can escape from Hell in a Cell, but I've never seen someone escape from Elimination Chamber. And it combines the elimination aspect for like how it used to be in Survivor Series, where it was a tag match and you got eliminated. And it's very cool. I was when I actually got to see an Elimination Chamber match, I was like, that was really cool. And it was during the Ruthless Aggression area, and it's very interesting to see how things have changed, because if you watch the very first Elimination Chamber that happened in Survivor Series 2000, I want to say 2004? Let me check. No, actually, 2002. The very first Elimination Chamber happened in Survivor Series 2002, and the people involved were Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, Booker T, Kane, and Rob Van Dam. And again, it was the first match. It was during the Ruthless Aggression era. I keep saying area. The Ruthless Aggression era. And everyone bled in that. Everyone would bust themselves open because, the structure was so unforgiving. It was made out of chains and 16 tons of metal. And, hitting yourself with one of the chains that were welded together would bust you open. And people were like, like this, red, I'm bleeding. And they would sell whenever they get dropped on the metal and be like, my back, it burns. But everyone would end up being, a red mask of blood. And after watching this, it's very interesting how that's changed when they entered the PG era. The moment that they entered the PG era, where you can say swears and you can show, a lot of sexuality, and you can have people bleed, you no longer have people busted open. Maybe if someone hit the chains or the pods incorrectly, they would bust open, but that was an accident. Whereas in the earlier ones, it was a bit more on purpose. But it's a really, really cool match. I've seen now the whole thing. It lasted 9 hours, so I really got a good deal's worth out of this. Some really, really great matches. The MVP of this has to be Chris Jericho. I saw this, and Chris Jericho was like in every single one of the Elimination Chambers. Just everything, and he won the last one after Shawn Michaels interfered. Sweet Chin Music, The Undertaker, then he won and became the world champion. So I think the MVP award goes to him because he was like in all of them. And of course, this is a 3-disc set. So that's the structure. That's the Elimination Chamber, Satan's Prison. And a lot of people were part of this. You had, again, Chris Jericho, The Undertaker, Kane, John Cena was in a bunch of them. Edge, of course, in New Year's Revolution, Edge cashed in the very first Money in the Bank, and took the title from John Cena. And then it might have been a No Mercy. I think it was No Mercy. Edge was part of the SmackDown pay-per-view. He got eliminated by Jeff Hardy, so he lost his title because he was the champion coming in. And it's like, oh crap, I got eliminated in the first round. And then he took out Kofi Kingston, did a concerto on the steel steps, took his place, which, you know, that's the kind of thing you have to disconnect when you're a wrestling fan. You know, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're not even part of the same brand, because he took out Kofi Kingston, who was in Raw, and took his place, and then he won Raw's title. So you would think someone would be like, that doesn't count. I mean, you're not even part of Raw. You're part of SmackDown, and you took out Kofi Kingston. You have no right to be here. But no, it's wrestling. And of course, Edge won the big gold belt. So Edge did that in that Elimination Chamber. So 2 really good moments for Edge in Elimination Chamber. So it has some really good spots. In the very first one, Rob Van Dam climbs one of the pods and falls on Triple H, but he doesn't calculate the height properly. So he falls on his neck and almost crushed his, this thing. And Triple H is like, I'm dying. He almost could have died. And had another one where John Morrison climbs and then jumps off at someone. Rey Mysterio was jumping all around. Another thing they did a lot is that the pods are supposed to be made out of bulletproof plastic. So they will always smack people in there and knock them out. But it was really brutal. But again, as you watch the match, they started off really cool, really brutal, bloodied everywhere, and then they got a little safer, and the spots weren't as dangerous, if you will, as they were before. So it's very interesting to see that, like, the decline of a bunch of violence and brutality, and then go like down it goes. But still very entertaining, the fact that you have these 6 wrestlers in this unforgiving structure beating the crap out of each other to win the title is always fun. I would definitely recommend watching this. Again, it's 9 hours. I don't know if it's out of print. It came out in 2010, so it's 7 years old. I don't think it's out of print. If you look online, or even at the WWE shop page, you might be able to find it there. I found this, through a Facebook seller, along with some other DVDs I talked about. But you get really a nice bang for your buck. It doesn't have a documentary. Most of these sets have a documentary where they interview wrestlers, or they have, histories of. This one, no, this is just Elimination Chamber, Elimination Chamber, Elimination Chamber. There are some segments, like 2-minute segments, where they talk about one of the superstars that participated. For example, they interview John Cena. They interview Batista, who was also part of 2 Elimination Chambers. And they talk about, the usual spiel, like, I went into this chamber not thinking much of its evilness, but it's evil, and it shortened my career by 3 years, and stuff like that. So it doesn't have an actual legit documentary. But it just has, if you don't really care about documentaries and you only want the matches, you got this. Of course, if you collect a lot of WWE, you collect the pay-per-views, you might already have the Elimination Chamber matches in, the No Mercies, the New Year's Revolution, what have you. They even turn it into its own pay-per-view called Elimination Chamber later on. But if you just are interested in seeing only the Elimination Chamber, this is pretty good. It's, once again, Satan's Prison, the anthology for the Elimination Chamber. So it has all the Elimination Chambers from 2002 up to 2010 when this was made. So highly recommended. 9 hours, 3-disc sets of really cool matches. Most of the matches in WWE are usually edited. They do cut things that might be controversial and what have you. But this one didn't seem edited at all. Everything is there. The only thing I will mention is that the audience reaction does seem a bit muted in some matches. There was a time where everyone freaking hated John Cena, which to this day I still don't get. I don't get why there was so much John Cena hate. And there are chants that are like, Cena sucks, Cena sucks. And in those matches, the audience audio seems to be like lowered, so you can't make out that they're saying Cena sucks, Cena sucks. But that's the only really thing that I noticed on this DVD. But still, lots of fun, lots of really good matches. The earlier matches are brutal. They give themselves a proper beating, but it's a lot of fun. It's good wrestling, and even when it became where you couldn't show that much violence, it was more technical. It was a lot of fun. A really good DVD. I would recommend it. Elimination Chamber, Satan's Prison. That's fun. So yeah, this was my first ever wrestling DVD review. If you enjoyed it, let me know. I don't have that many wrestling DVDs, but I have a few. I have a few I could talk about. So yeah, that's, leaving it out there for you. If you want to make that suggestion, I can do it. And I can share wrestling knowledge, because even though people say it's fake, it's actually not fake. It's pretty cool. You should watch it. Support it. Because I don't want to see WWE collapse, even though I don't agree with some of their booking decisions. Like, again, Jinder Mahal, he's still the champion, for crying out loud. But when they're on fire, they're on fire, and they produce some really good content. So, gotta support it, because I don't want to see it disappear. Anyway, that was the review for Satan's Prison. This was Vargas, recording live from the Vargas Vault. And I want to thank you all. And until I see you again next time with another wrestling video, or maybe a wrestling pickup video, I thank you all. And this is Vargas, signing out.